up, everybody? Welcome to the IAG Thursday thing. This thing we do every Thursday, except when we don't, because usually we're at the track setting records. What's up? I gotta be real. Road Atlanta turned out great. We're definitely going to talk about that today. We also have some, before we get to that, we're going to talk about some new products coming, well, product coming that's going to be pretty exciting, especially for you VBWRX guys. Pretty hyped about that. So, Warranty still being an adult. Executive producer Jordan is driving a mini bike in the woods or something. I really don't quite understand what's happening with what he's doing right now. And Randy made a great thumbnail. We appreciate you, Randy. Thank you, sir. Let's get right to things. First things first. I want to talk about the people been asking for a long time for us to, or somebody to make a sweet stock location VBWRX turbo that's got a little more top end than the OEM turbo, and it's happening. We're pretty hyped about it. Long story short, it's based on like a G25 660, so it's new Garrett stuff, ball bearing center. Should be lightning fast when you're past boost threshold, and that 2.4 liter will make this thing come alive real quick, but it's going to have a ton more top end than stock. So it should carry power really well. I have a very hard time believing that with the right fueling mods and you were to lean into it pretty good, without adding too much boost, it's going to go mid 400s without even trying, and it should go upper 400s, maybe even lower 500s, leaning into it a little bit harder, just due to the sizing. But some of that is also going to be determined by the kind of results people have when they're out there and messing around with it. So I'm excited to see what the aftermarket's going to do with it. Did you get to mess around with that at all, Dylan? I know you were probably installing it at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, so actually the beginning of all of it, I was working on it and kind of, working with the guys here as well as changing things out and working with Mike on the dyno as well with tuning. So it's been a product that we've been working on for about a year and have done a lot of testing with it to make sure it's good to go. And honestly, driving the car with that turbo kind of makes me want one.
Like VPs are kind of great, but like they kind of have that same problem with the STI, with the stock like VF, where it would climb like hell and then kind of fall off, and that kind of gets rid of that. You know what I mean? It just keeps pulling.
Yeah, the dynograph, area under the curve is a big one, and you
Mhm.
hit the nail on the head there with how the stock turbo would kind of fall off, and then you'd have to shift to get it to come back to life, and this thing just kind of keeps going. We were all super impressed with it, and Mike was super impressed with it. And I believe the guys in media have been cooking up a video as well, maybe a series. I don't know how long it's going to be, but they're cooking up some stuff to show everybody what it looks like, and it's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Yep, I'm hyped to see that it's also, Garrett G series base, so should be pretty sick. It's got really modern aero. This is not just shove an old 20G wheel in some random housing and hope it works, which it's like 90% of aftermarket turbos out there, let's be real. Like this, there's some serious thought put into this. So pretty hyped. I don't have pricing for you yet. I'll get it for you as soon as I can, but shoot us a PM, shoot us an email, and we can chat about it. Be more than happy to try to get you one of those. But I should probably say that hey Dylan, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, how
Dylan's
we
gonna help
doing?
us co-host today. Joining us from Boogie. He is literally sitting in Boogie right now, with a headset, hanging out, chatting it up. He's been messing around with the steering wheel a little bit today, which is pretty exciting. So we can talk a little bit about that after we talk about Road Atlanta. Because, dude, Road Atlanta, boy, that turned out a little better than I was hoping for. Right?
Yeah, I mean, after last year, I was looking for some redemption there. Last year, it felt like no matter what we did, it was just getting the rug pulled from underneath us with
Yep.
something, and the car is finally got squared away enough that we could put down a decent representative lap. And Road Atlanta is very fast paced. It's all morning sessions, so they stuff, 3 sessions before like 1 p.m. Together. So it's kind of, you got to be ready to go, and you got to be ready to shoot the gauntlet.
So we didn't really have a lot of time after CMP before Road Atlanta. It was what? Not even 3 weeks. It was like 2.5 weeks.
With travel and everything, yeah, it was like 2.5 weeks. It wasn't a ton of
It was
time.
boom, boom, boom. So like there really wasn't any updates to the car other than a good alignment, and we had some conversations. We did some small stuff with RCE and the new T2 RS coilovers, but
Mm.
nothing like crazy. It was more, you know,
Some CV axle boots needed to get fixed.
yeah.
Mount and balance some tires, do an oil change, kind of inspect things, look things over. It was a brand new engine for the season, so rip the filter open, etc.
Yep.
We're testing some stuff on this engine, so compression leak down, just to kind of see how things looked, and literally just unpack, fix, repack, go.
That's one of the things too. Um, One of the cool things about this race program is as we try stuff and learn things and we can stress test the living hell out of stuff, improvements come from a lot of improvements have come from this race program that you guys probably don't even realize in the products that you've purchased. Whether we've made new versions of it or improved the existing versions of it or changed some approaches, all sorts of stuff. We have learned a ton from the race program, and that's one of the things. We can't talk about exactly what we're doing with it yet, but there's some new stuff in the engine that we're excited to we're stress testing it right now, not only in our car, but we've got a few other engines out there to kind of see where stuff goes. And that's, if you're not out there pushing the limits with the product, then I don't know. I kind of have a hard time like getting that warm fuzzy about somebody saying they make race products or understand racing or whatever, or they make a product for your race car and they're not actually doing it themselves. So it's, and that's one of the reasons we do this is it's hyper development. If you can find out in a couple of months on track what something will do in 100,000 miles on a daily driver, and you can't just drive 100,000 miles. So um it works and it helps. So yeah, we didn't have a lot of time, but it was basically turn the thing around. We even used the same tires. We put a sticker set on the other set of tires just in case, but I got to be real, we never had to use them. So, which is helpful. The other nice thing, and Dylan has noticed, and we believe some of this is due to the new suspension, and some of it is probably due to the new tire. That RE71 RZ wears really nice, but the new suspension is probably helping out a little bit more than even I'm giving it credit for. Dylan he's of the belief it's helping out a ton, which he probably isn't wrong. We've got the car to calm down a lot, especially on throttle, and we're seeing a lot better tire wear due to it. I mean, what are you seeing on your end?
Yeah, so my theory is that it's not beating up or the suspension's not beating up the tires as much. We can dial in if we do see any on throttle hopping, which is pretty synonymous with stuff we do with this chassis. We can dial the suspension in fairly quickly. It's usually a click, maybe two away, which is super nice. Um, and so it doesn't seem like it's beating up the tires as much. Now, I noticed that on the RSs too, kind of sort of, but they were a used pair at CMP. So it was kind of like but CMP is super hard on tires. But we we're not really seeing a ton of wear. The tires are wearing pretty evenly, um, which is super nice. So we have had a good luck with getting a good alignment in and working with the guys over at RC on changes. And and not that our stuff was super far out with what we were doing
Mhm.
last year with our alignment specs, but just kind of bouncing ideas off of Miles and the guys over there and what we should be doing or what we can try. And things have worked out fairly well. And now I want to get a little bit fancier with using the tire parameter more often instead of just the tire pressure gauge to kind of dial in the corners of the car. And I spent a little bit more time corner balancing than we normally do as well.
Which I'm not gonna lie, the wheel was as straight as it has ever been.
Yeah,
Which is
it's
really nice at Road Atlanta to have the wheels straight and you go straight. Um, Other tracks, not nearly as big of a deal, but Road Atlanta, Road America, those tracks are you gotta just wail on it and you want the wheel to be straight when you do it, it helps. So
yeah. So I mean, the time spent on the car is definitely a lot, and luckily we have the ability to spend time on the car before a race and put in that extra effort, and it's netting us the result. So the corner balance and alignment goes in a long way. Not only that, but I want to give the suspension the best chance I can to kind of perform the way it needs to. And it's always been a running joke that the alignment's he Dewey would tell me the alignment's great, but the steering wheel's slightly crooked, and it's just one of those things with how aggressive the alignment can be. Sometimes it's not the easiest to get the steering wheel straight, especially when the steering wheel's so far away from the seat and the lockout. And so I have some tricks I'm doing. I'm hoping to improve that, and I'm hoping that it will forever be straight from now on. But yeah, I mean, I'm super happy with how the tires the new RZs are wearing. We left with 2 heat cycles from CMP on them and went straight to Atlanta. And I mean, we only do off the
3.
trailer. I think we ran a 28 in the first session,
We did. So
and
we will get into that, but we only put 3
yeah,
heat cycles on it. So
correct, which ended up being awesome.
so uh Road Atlanta, there was a crazy condensed schedule because we're there with Formula D. So it's basically every 2 hours there's a session. There's only 6 sessions for the weekend. It's over 2 days. It goes really fast, which is nice and shitty at the same time. For a time attack program, it can be a complete pain in the ass because, especially with a car like ours, where I got to be real, one of the reasons we keep the thing so reliable is we check over everything, and Dylan spends a lot of time between sessions making sure shit's right. It's not compounding problems. So when you don't have that time, it gets a little dicey. But the nice thing is you're done by like 1 o'clock, and you kind of get to hang out and talk to some people and get stuff done or try things or go over video. You can do a lot of stuff. So and then we were done Saturday instead of Sunday. So hell, I slept in my own bed. It was technically Sunday morning when I got home, but I slept in my own bed and woke up there Sunday morning, which was really damn nice. But so the schedule is going to be really condensed. We knew this from last year, and it was kind of one of the things that bit us last year because we didn't have time to like really rip stuff apart and go looking. And then the next day it rained, and it was hell, it even snowed overnight. Like, it was effed up. Last year was bad. The weather this year, mint. You couldn't ask for better time attack weather. It was like low 60s in the morning, never got any higher in mid 70s, and it was basically overcast the whole time, so the track didn't get baked. The only downside is you had drifters hitting it both days, and 10A and 10B were toast. Like, if you got into the marbles down at the bottom, it wasn't happening. You actually see it in my record video where I missed 10A by a little bit. And that was me backing up my my brake marker a little bit to make sure I didn't get into that, and I still missed it. So either way, yeah. So first session, we go out, and I got to be real. I was going to be pretty pissed if we didn't run at least the record right out of the gate. I was hoping for a 28, like right off the trailer, and that's kind of what we did. that there is a ton of time out there. The car was skating around a little more than I was like really used to, and we were we were still dealing with a hair of bouncing on throttle, um, which is something that we've been dealing with for a while, and it was affecting us in turn 7 mostly, where I had to really nail it. And there's a lot of time there, and if you're wasting time in turn 7, you eat all of that time the entire time down the straightaway. If you're missing a couple mile an hour at the beginning of turn 7, at the end of turn 7 it can be 5, 10 plus. It's nuts. So we worked with Miles at RCE to sort that out, and we made some small changes. And really, we were ready to party for the second session. Okay. I don't know what you pointing at. What was that? All right, fine. I'll keep going. So we were ready to party for the second session. We again still never turned the power up. Already ran the record. We were running like a 28 something. I figured by the end of the weekend we'd probably get somewhere in the mid 27s. And that would have been enough to win. Okay, that honestly would have been enough to win the weekend. We would have been in a good spot. Uh, our main competition was Alex Automotive and Luca Barberis in that Supra, and we were worried the whole time that they were getting real close to getting that car figured out. Okay, that car was starting to look real scary fast. They were working on some small issues, but it was definitely starting to get there. We're wondering, because I got to be real, Boogie is not the right platform for big sweepy corners. It's good at accelerating from low speeds to high speeds, and it is ballistically fast to about 150, and then we start pushing a pretty serious wall of air. It's not the most aerodynamic car. The aero is really simple, and we don't have a ton of tire, so we kind of don't have the insane mechanical grip some of these other cars have. So turn 12 and turn 1 had me a little worried. Plus, I got to be real, I was being a little bitch. I'll just call it how
Yeah,
it is.
I think
Um,
a lot of people don't realize how aggressive or how scary Atlanta is until they get there and or like drive it for the first time. But the
yep,
first time you pull into Atlanta as a spectator and you have to go up the hill for turn like coming out of B into 11, 12,
yep.
like that hill is
Gnarly.
pretty scary. And when you crest the hill, you don't see where you're going. And when you're coming down the hill, I think a lot of people say that you can't really see the 12. It's just kind of you got to wait for it to show up.
Yeah, if you're a decent driver,
Depending.
you're looking at the exit of the corner. The
Yeah.
second you can see the corner, you're trying to look for the exit, and you can't do that with 12, and it weirds you
Yeah.
out. Plus, you just went under this bridge where you couldn't even see where you were trying to put the car in the first place, because you go over this massive hill and then fall off this cliff. And you're banging another gear, and Boogie is fast enough to where when it's going over 11, it's lifting tires. So like we're spinning and basically getting a little air going over that hill. It's sketchy
Yeah.
as shit. And then you come barreling down this hill and you're like, is this thing gonna hold or not? And so I'm not gonna lie, our min speed through there probably could be higher. Okay. And our min speed through 1 definitely could be higher. If you watch the video, there's time left. There's a whole lot of track left that we could track out. But like turn 1, if you look at that, turn 1, if you go just a little bit too hard, there's all sorts of time there, but the second you overstep it and you stick a tire out, you're in the wall. That's the end of this car. Like our season's
Hmm.
done. We're done. Okay. And the speed we can go through there, like it might even be a hospital. Like it is
Yeah.
nasty. Turn 1 is devastating. It is so many cars, and all that's what's sitting in the back of my brain when I go through there. I start thinking about my wife and my kids, and Dylan's gonna kill me if I wad this up. He's got all this damn time into this thing, and I'm just like, ah. So
Well, it's
I bitch out.
Also, I mean, we didn't after the first session, we kind of saw where everything shook out with everybody, and we were like, okay, let's go back out and see if there's more time in it. But we didn't need to push.
No.
We had a comfortable lead. Now, again, we'll go back on. We're watching Luca and Alex and the guys over there get the car together, and we're like, all right, well, we need to go back out and see if we can find a little bit more time um, before they get out or whatever, because we're expecting a battle. And Saturday or Friday, it looked like Saturday had a chance of rain again.
Mhm.
So we were like, dude, we gotta go. So, there wasn't much to like the car was pretty happy after the first session. And I think we had like an hour and a half to like turn around and go back out again.
So we go out and on it for the second session. And the idea was let's go pick up some more time, try to get ourselves a good cushion to the lead and put like basically we can play defense at that point. The whole idea was give us enough of a cushion to where we could play defense. We might even not even have to go out in the afternoon session. Like let's go try to let's lay some time down and put ourselves in a good position. Now, on our outlap, I don't even remember what happened. Oh, was this was
Oil
the
down.
oil down. So there was a 370Z that like its catch can just like spewed shit all over the place and put a ton of oil on the ground. So they black flagged us and have us come in. So we came in and this is and we're just chilling waiting for this. And I feel like we are there 20 minutes plus. Um
It was a long time. I mean, luckily he didn't really oil down the track. But when he went to leave, false grid, it just dumped oil all through false grid. So
yep.
luckily he was in the very back of A, so no one drove through it. Luckily, and they brought us all in. They inspected the track. He made it to like two or something. They had to tow him off, so that's what took a ton of time. But that being said, too, is after one, we did have some of that hopping, and we were able to make some educated changes to it.
Yes.
And that was the big reason why we were going out for the second session, see if those changes went in the right way.
Yep.
And so you sat there, and that's why in the record video it wasn't hot out, but it was getting warm. But the
You're
record
sitting in a
video,
hot car too. We just made a trip around, and I don't know if you can see where Dylan's sitting right now. And again, if you're listening to this, you can't. But the dry sump tank is behind the passenger seat. That is hot oil. So if you're just sitting there, it's just radiating that. It is hot. If you aren't moving, it sucks in that car. So like I'm hot. So we roll I roll the tops of my gloves down so and it's just because if you can like pull your sleeve back a little bit, your wrist is like letting off your wrists will let off a ton of heat. I thought we were going to be going right back out, so I'm like sitting there and then I was going to quickly roll my shit down and head out. Long story short, I didn't do that. They finally let us go back out, and I did not roll them back down. So if you watch the lap video and I look like I'm wearing pirate gloves, that was why. That is not normally how I wear my gloves. I didn't even realize I did it, and it drove Foster up the frickin' wall when he was trying to stitch something really cool together and then realized that some video has pirate gloves in it and some video doesn't, and it just didn't make any sense. So I screwed
yeah,
Foster. I'm sorry, Foster.
we got a sweet 360 camera. And that's the thing is like we move the cameras around sometimes every section we go out, right?
Hmm.
Because you want to just get new content. And so sometimes we can stitch stuff together. And well, Foster and Anthony stitch it together,
Yeah.
and it looks like the same lap, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because Dewey's wearing pirate gloves, we couldn't stitch the sweet 360 camera that was sitting here on the windshield. But I'm assuming he's
My
gonna still make a video out of it because it's the video's sick, dude. It is so you'd see him pull the lever because the camera is directly above the lever, so you can see him pull the sequential lever. It's so good.
I'm sure we can do some social with it. There's some good stuff we can play with. So my bad. I'm sorry, Foster and Anthony. That one's on me. Okay. um,
So you go you go back out, and I'm worried about turn one. Like I give you the warning, like, hey, and I told all the drivers, I was like, hey, there might be oil in turn one. Of course, we're all in the pits, so I'm running through, letting everybody keep your eyes up in turn one.
Yep.
There might be oil down. And you go out, and that's the only thing I'm worried about. I'm like, great, of course, like you said earlier, turn one is sketch, and now
Now
we
there's
may or
oil
may
in it.
not have oil in it. And so you guys come by on it's Mike DeSold, Jimmy, you guys all come by on a tear, and I'm like, hopefully it's good. Hopefully
Yeah.
it's good. Hopefully
Run.
everything's. I can't do anything. I'm just standing in the pits,
Yep.
yelling and screaming. I'm like, hell yeah. Hopefully everything's good. Sounds good. Looks good. See ya.
Turn one was fine though, and so we blazed through there. The changes, like the car felt great. I took a little more of a aggressive line through three. I got three a lot better. These new these new coilovers are stupid. I can blow over three. There's a video that RCE posted. You can see me going over three where the car goes airborne and just sits down. It doesn't oscillate, doesn't bounce. There's no drama. It just goes poof. Like it is absurd how good these coilovers are. So yeah, I go over three. Thing sits down great. I get through the S's fairly quick. I could probably work on my line a little bit in five. Okay, so I five I could do a little bit. I probably could get on the gas a little bit sooner. Again, like I said earlier, one there's some time in it, but like, I'm being a little bitch. I'm gonna be real. Plus, there might have been oil there, so like I took it a little easy. Um, I think I overslowed for six, just subconsciously, not thinking, just trying to get everything right. I saw it was big green at this point. Like we were way in the green. And I wanted to lay this lap down. I wanted to make sure we got it done. So I didn't want to throw it away. So I went a little um I kept it together through six. I was thinking more keep it together instead of find time. And the big thing I wanted to make sure that worked though was seven. We just made the suspension changes. I wanted to make sure I nailed seven and I got on the gas really early and see if the bouncing came back. And I got on the gas really early and the thing just rotated and stuck. We actually have slow mo video of this that I stuck Bailey's wife out in the back 40 because she's got her media credentials and stuff. And she got slow mo video of the two laps that I went through there. And it looks so good now. So yeah, the car just squats and goes, and we got an awesome run out of seven. Blasted down the straight, hit I think high 172, maybe touched 173 for a split second. Heading down the straight. I think I got there a little quicker than I was expecting. And even in my brain, I'm like, okay, I'm going to back this up a little bit because there's been drift cars through here and I want to make sure I put this together. And even then, I couldn't get the car quite slowed down. This is a problem with 255, 200 treadwear tires. Like, you only got so much rubber. Like, I don't think bigger brakes in any way are going to help us in any. We need more friction to the ground. So we either need more aero or bigger tires, and like more aero we might be able to do something with, but bigger tires not happening. So I miss 10A a little bit, get 10B, get on the gas real early, car rotates again better than I thought it would, jump through 11, and I'm like, holy shit, we're big green. So I'm not gonna lie, I went a little cheesy through 12 just to make sure I finished the lap. And dude, 126.5. I'm still
Yeah.
blown away at how fast that was with the amount we left on the table on low boost. We never even turned it up. What is that? 26 pounds?
I know, and you were hitting me. Yeah, it's 26 psi.
It's
You were
not
hitting
even
me and Graham
crazy.
up before the event, and you're like, "We got to come out here with everything," blah blah. I'm like, "Well, let's start where we normally start. And let's work our way in." And that's always been my intention. Sometimes it's just reeling you back in or reeling me back in and going, "Hey, let's just start at the basics."
Yep.
And so you came in, and again, I'm watching, Luca, Alex, everybody else, Cal. I'm watching everybody's time to see where everybody's at, but I'm like, okay, 126, like pretty quick now. And Luca had laid down a representative, or not a representative lap, a lap, but it wasn't really representative of what the car could do. I think it was like a 134. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that car can go a lot faster. And so, we bring the car in and I'm like, all right, we ran a fast lap. What's broken?
Well,
Let's get it up in the air.
we got ourselves impounded. This is one thing we always make sure we do because I don't want any questions. The
Yeah.
rule states if you break a record, you are supposed to go get impounded. But I'm
Yep.
not gonna lie, Gridlife's been a little bit lax about that. Okay.
Yeah.
Records have been broken, and I like why do you impound unlimited? You know what I mean? What are you even gonna find? Like Mike DeSoul did not rip his floorboard out. You know what I mean? Like, but in Street Mod, we could have put on different tires. We could have taken stuff out of the car that shouldn't have been. Like, you're supposed to get impounded. So we always drive our asses straight to impound. So we go get
We're all
ourselves
happy about
impounded.
it.
Oh, dude, I love getting impounded. Like, I want a shirt that just says impound me. Like, I love that shit, dude. Um, Take our asses over to get impounded. And I can't stress this enough. If you are running Gridlife, okay, or any organization, and you think there may be questions, just go get yourself impounded.
Yep.
Tell them to impound your car because then they go through your car, and if they deem it legal, you're good.
The other thing too is like, we go through there no matter what when we break a record because we're like, look at the car. We want to set the, the base of, hey, we broke a record, get
Yep.
impounded.
We want
They're like,
everybody to be
well,
doing that.
has anything changed on the car? I'm like, yep, actually, the uprights, they're new. You better measure that wing. You better
Yep.
measure the wing because I don't want someone to say it's sitting further back now or anything like that. Measure that wing, and so I made them measure the wing. Of course, it's legal, but I want,
We
it's
want
something
it.
changed on the car.
We want to make sure that they know it's legal, though. It changed, and these cars are constantly developing. If you have a time attack car, it's in a constant state of development if you're actually trying to win. So you want them to look at these things. They're like, I don't understand why people take offense to this sort of stuff. Like, what do you mean I got to get impounded? Just go take your ass to impound. If you got nothing to hide, why are you like people get butthurt about this? I've never understood that.
Yeah,
Um,
so we get the car out of impound, and there's like an hour and a half till the third session. And I haven't, Luca and them, they missed session two, but they've been working on the car. So I'm like, they're gonna go out for session three, and we need to be on the defense because if they go out, we need to be ready to go out. And again,
mhm.
Saturday was questionable with the weather, so we get the car back in the pit, get it up on jack stands. Every single time I nut and bolt this car, I don't mess around with it. And we noticed, and forklift just posted in the chat a picture of it. But really, the only thing that happened was we blew a clamp off of one of the CV axle boots, and it just sprayed grease everywhere.
It's
And
gross.
so the boot was fine, the axle was fine. We broke a clamp, which could have been just I over tightened it. And oh yeah, of course he says. So when we went out this morning, I was like, man, after the first session, I was like, everything's good to go. Like, hell, we haven't even ripped any axle boots yet because that's a pretty common thing. And sure enough, I saw it. We rolled into the hot pits, and I'm checking tire pressures in the hot pit, and the blue grease on the outside of the wheel, and I was like, damn it, I had to say that. I had to say it, and
You
it
put it
happened.
out there.
I put it out there, and you know what? I'll take an axle boot every single time. But we are very superstitious, and for some reason, I was flirting with that this weekend. But the car looked good, and so we decided that we were gonna watch the third session. We
Yep.
were
We're going on the defense.
fairly,
Like,
we were pretty happy with the lap time, and so we
yep.
we went in the RV, cooled off, kind of thought about what we were doing. Normally, I thought we were gonna go sit in the hot pit and see if we needed to go out, but I was like, "Hey, like, I think tomorrow morning will be okay." And the
Yeah.
weather was wishy-washy, so with it not being podium sprint, like we kind of had to be on our A game. Um, and so we're sitting in there watching the live stream. We see Luca and the rest of A
Oh,
group go out, and you know, all of a sudden, black flag, and so we're like, "Oh, maybe another oil down with that." another oil down with that 350Z or 370Z,
Yep.
and it was a while, and they weren't showing anything, and all of a sudden we see some ambulances going by on the live stream, and then we see a forklift go by. I was like, oh, someone's in a tire wall, and they're still not really talking about it, and we were parked right across from Alex and Luca and the guys, and I run out of the RV and go look, and everyone else is in the hot pit except Luca, and I just put my hands up on top of my head. I'm like, shit,
Yeah.
they're in a tire wall. Well, it was much worse than a tire wall, um, and it's never competitor or not, frenemies, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to see anybody in the track in the wall. And luckily, Alex did a really good job this year of uh, focusing on driver safety. The car's fast. These cars are fast. These drivers are fast. I get sick. Dewey throws up before he goes on track, but we get to the track and I can't sleep usually the first night, just because I'm so worried about something happening. And luckily, Luca did walk away with very very minor injuries. But it was a gnarly crash. I think the data shows that he hit the wall at about 78 miles an hour, and it was concrete.
Yeah, he really
Um,
didn't hit the tires. It was
he
it hit hard enough to break a fiber optic cable that was ran on the other side of the wall. Like, this was a nasty, nasty hit. And again, like you were saying, they focused a lot on the driver safety, and that's something I don't think a lot of people are focusing on in their builds, man. And there are some cars, I'm not pointing any fingers, I'm not trying to be that guy, but that really they are going way faster than they should without a cage. And there are some rules that are actually in place that state if you're within a particular percentage of the overall record, you have to run a cage. And there, I think at least the rear cage put it at about a 30 flat, and it was like a 28 to have a proper at least 6 point. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying to see that. And there's some cars that should have cages and don't. And but thankfully that cage was built really well. And it was so good that again, they hit a concrete wall at damn near 80 mile an hour, and the door's still open and closed.
yeah, I'm gonna pull up. I got to give a shout out to the guys that built the cage. I need to make sure I have their name rights. Um, Thompson Race and Fabrication. Um, I I went over, and obviously the car came in. Luca's still in the back in the ambulance. They didn't really announce whether he got out of the car. I mean, we haven't had a real bad accident like that in a while, and
Yep.
and so I went over, and all the guys over there, just their souls have got ripped out of them, and I don't want to see it to any of our competitors, and I was really kind of hoping for the shootout this weekend with them, and they dropped the car off, and it is not in great shape. But Luca at that point is okay. He's alive, which is the biggest thing. You can replace cars, but you can't replace lives. And the cage was so well built that the doors on either side of the car, even the side he smacked the wall in, could still open and close. Like they were still, I wouldn't say brand new, but it wasn't like oh, this has definitely been. If you put a blindfolded on the person on the door handle and told them to open the door, they would tell you it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Uh, it was a really well built cage. So hats off to those guys um, over there, and hats off to Alex and the guys that built for focusing on driver safety, because that shit is important.
Did you see that
Um,
too? Alex just said it didn't crack their windshield, but ripped the front frame rail off. The windshield didn't even crack. That is what I'm talking about. Go get that cage. If you want to do
yeah,
this stupid shit, get a good cage. With
yep.
age comes
So
a cage. That's Travis Pastrana said that.
yeah, and so seeing that, at the end of our day on Friday, I think, I won't speak for you, Dewey, but man, I did not want to put you in the car tomorrow,
Brother,
Saturday morning.
all I'm doing is looking across at this car the entire night, trying to like play like I'm cool. Okay. Like, oh, I'm good with this. I'm good. I didn't sleep for shit. I woke up in the morning going, what the fuck am I even doing? But I wanted to go out. Honestly, the biggest reason I wanted to go out is I wanted to get some more pictures and I wanted to get a cool suspension video for RCE. Now, I'm like, maybe I can clean up 10A and knock a tenth or two off, but I'm not trying to kill myself here. I'm gonna go real chill through 12. I'm gonna go real chill through 1. And if I can clean this up, cool. Um, the whole time I'm out there, the whole time I'm just going, this is stupid. Why am I even out here? This is dumb. And when you're like that, like just end it. So yeah, I came in, I ran 2 hot-ish laps, but I'll be real, the second lap really wasn't even that hot. It was me just kind of like dorking around. And I parked the car and went and announced the rest of the day. I'm like, I'm done. I am done.
I mean, you came back in and I just started packing up and no, like I didn't want to win that way.
No.
I never want to win that way. Um, you know, the reality of the situation was, they no longer were running, unfortunately, and I was hoping Kyle would find more time, but we're sitting 3.5 seconds ahead. Um, like I started packing up the small stuff. I didn't want to put you back
I
on
don't
track.
I don't want to like we didn't pack up because there were some people who are like, well, that's kind of cocky. That was not what it was. I was not
No.
in a mental spot to drive. I looked at that and I'm just like, I'm telling you, if Cal even would have got within a second of us, I probably still wouldn't have went out because like I was not mentally in a good spot. Just I wasn't.
No, it
Like I
was.
can't look at that and be okay. It was nightmare fuel for me.
I would have rather came in second place than sent you back out, to be
Yeah,
honest.
where I was at, man, I was totally there. I'm just like, good God, dude. I was, and it was nice seeing Luca up and walking around and whatever, but like, dude, a million things were going through my brain. And you start thinking about like not even realistic scenarios, like just things breaking for whatever reason, or somebody in front of you has you start having all these Final Destination moments in your head. And like I was not the whole time going through going through 12 and 1. Okay, I always have these like I need to think about my kids and my wife and stuff. I have those, but the entire time I was out that morning, the whole time that's all I was thinking about. I'm like, this is stupid. Like I parked it. I could not get back into it. The dog and me had left.
Yeah. So we didn't pack the car up or anything. We left the tent and stuff out. For the most part.
Yeah.
And
We did some
kind of
cool
waited.
stuff with Garrett and like, and it kind of worked out because with Formula D there's a lot of, some of our other sponsors are there and we got to talk to some cool people and it worked out. And honestly, I love announcing. I think it's a really good time, especially if I get to announce Time Attack specifically. I knew a lot of the drama that they didn't know up there, so I'm like announcing, one of the other things that happened this weekend, we haven't talked about it, and we're going to have to. Long story short, we ended up winning. With that time, we didn't have to go back out. Okay. So the drama really happened with Jeremy Bailey. Okay. So now let's back Jeremy Bailey up post CMP. I got to be real, the car didn't look good. Okay, at CMP. It looked like it was hard to drive and it looked like it over rotated, and that's the thing he was complaining about. So, and he ended up not even getting on the podium at CMP, and it drove him nuts. I know Jeremy Bailey enough to know I've known him forever. He was big mad, okay, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to be mad. He wanted to get even, okay. So he immediately gets a track day, a 2-day track day at Corvette Museum. And he's like, hey, if you got time, come up. We need to try to get this car right, work on me, whatever. This is not normal Jeremy Bailey talk, okay? This is the most proud, stubborn man I think I've ever met in my life. And he swallowed it all to go, I need your help. And that, you know, it's serious when Jeremy is at, because he does not ask for help. This man doesn't do this. Okay, but at a certain point, and it's made me think about a lot of stuff too, you need to get a second set of eyes on something, because like problems that you just get used to, like you don't realize are problems. They've been there forever. So like, and then stuff stacks on stuff and you don't even realize it's happening. You have moved in the wrong direction and don't even realize it. So he goes out and drives all the first day, gets whatever sort of time, having a good time. And it's real chill. It's just a track day. It's not competition. He's just turning laps. Okay, we're using old tires to do it. I come in the next morning and he throws me in the car. And the first thing they do is, because there's some people who do a single day thing, they do these orientation laps. So they're like half speed or less. And I go out in this half speed or less thing, and I'm playing around with like brake zones and turning. I've been to Corvette Museum enough. I actually did some instruction there, so I know the track pretty well. This car's trying to kill me. You go into the brakes, the ass end starts wiggling all over the place. If you can time it right, you get it to turn in correctly, but then the second you apply throttle, the thing tries to over-rotate and kill you. This car is trying to kill you, and he was just used to driving around this. So the first thing I said is, dude, disconnect your rear sway bar. Let's just try it immediately. Immediately when I go out for that next session, 2 seconds faster. The car felt so much better. You could hit the brakes, it'd brake in a straight line. It understeer a little bit on turn-in, but you could get on the gas sooner and the thing would roll out. It was stable. It's what you were looking for. And the big thing when you're talking about a Club TR car, which is what his car is, if you guys don't know who Jeremy Bailey is, it's a BRZ that's been very gutted, with a first gen BRZ with an FA24 swap, a bunch of suspension, knuckles. He's on RC T2s, and they're limited to a Falcon RT 660 plus and nothing wider than a 255. Some really basic aero. It's Club Track Rat. Okay, no turbos, no nothing. Thing makes like 220 wheel. Okay, it's nothing.
You're
fancy.
not even supposed to open up your engine.
Yeah, you can't even open your engine up. It is very basic. It's a very track rat class. And so there's not much you can do to these cars, but your setup means everything. And being able to get on the gas as early as possible is everything, because you don't have the horsepower to cover shit up. It doesn't exist. So I go out there, I run a little bit quicker in it, and then I throw him back in the car, and he immediately goes faster. Finds time, car's great. I know he is gonna be shit hot at Road Atlanta. And again, he's there for frickin' revenge. Bailey, as usual, okay, he takes a little bit to warm up to a track. He's never the guy who's gonna go out in the first session and lay a time down. He never does. It's always usually day 2 where he starts to figure some stuff out. He's looking at data, he's doing his thing, and it takes him a little bit to warm up to it. So at first, like, the times didn't look great. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want to like call Bailey out on it, but I'm like, I kind of expect him to be a little quicker. He's at like, I think he was like 4th in class again or something. He had a few dudes in front of him. And he was like, what, 2 seconds off for the most part?
Yeah.
It was a ways off. And in Club TR, that's a long ways. Okay. So I'm like, shit. Also, we're a little worried that these like K-powered cars, which is the majority of what he's up against, is Honda K-Series powered cars, are like horsepowering him at the end of the straight. Now, with that stated, I gave Bailey a whole rash that he's allowed his car, because it isn't running a K, he's actually got a little bit more weight he can pull out of it. And I'm like, your min speeds have to be higher than theirs. That's where you're going to make up for them having a little more horsepower. And they weren't at CMP. They definitely were at Atlanta, and he started figuring it out. But he goes out on the second day. I think the second session. It wasn't even the first session. It was the second session.
No, it was the first.
It was the first session in the morning. Okay.
We were sitting in grid.
Yep,
and,
you're right.
I was sitting there talking to you, and I was like, "Holy crap!" Bailey just ran a 34.6, which was now the new record and the lead.
Yep.
And then Peter Granberg was running like a 34.9, and everyone was losing their mind over that.
Yep.
And And so I was like, "Holy crap!" And he came in. I hadn't seen his next lap. I was sitting there talking to you, like we're talking
Yeah,
about
we got to
stuff.
launch a car, so
Yeah, well, you're about to go out. I'm more focused on you. And I see him come in at the end. He's like, not like early or anything necessarily, but he came in before the end of their session, and I'm running to the other end of pit because I'm hyped. I'm trying to go hype him up, and he's like, I gotta don't hold on, let me get this done. And he's checking tire pressures and everything, and I'm like, dude, 34.6. He was like, no, I think I went faster than that, and I looked, and it was a 34.0, and I was
dude,
just like,
he knocked
and
2
he was like.
seconds off in that session. I don't know
Mhm.
what he did over the night. I don't know if he went and tugged one out. I don't know what the hell he had to do to get his brain right. We had a quick conversation
He
about
went
min speeds, but like he just found it.
he also waited until Saturday morning to put the new tires on.
Yeah,
He
which
decided going
helped.
out Saturday morning with brand new stickers.
Yep. And he did. He threw on
And
stickers and laid it the fuck down. And it astounded everybody because at that point, he was damn near a full second ahead of everybody. And everybody started losing their shit. I don't know who did it, but somebody decided they needed to protest Bailey. Okay. Now, Bailey's car is very gutted, and there is some very gray area stuff going on in his car, like his dashboard. It doesn't say OEM dashboard. Okay. The rule doesn't say OEM dashboard. So he put a sheet of something, some sort of plasticky shit up there.
he made a dashboard.
He made a dashboard. It doesn't say OEM dashboard. So he just put this in there. And now, if it said OEM dashboard, he would have that, or even OEM like. It just says dashboard. So that is a dashboard. You can put stuff on it. It's a dashboard. And it, so like people are a little like tweaked. Okay.
Salty.
They're salty
Yeah.
about this because he's reading the rules and they're not. I can't stress this. If you decide to get into time attack, you read the rule book 10 times to see what it says. Then you read the rule book 10,000 more times to see what it doesn't say. But the party is in the glossary. The definitions of what things are matter so much. Okay.
So he gets protested after this,
Yeah.
and I'm in the pit. Dewey's off announcing already at this point in
Yeah.
time. He's getting ready for his second session. Like, Ito comes over, the time attack liaison. He's coming over taking pictures of the car and is like, well, you got protested for removing structural components of the chassis. And I'm like, all right, well, there's something that I want to do to a future chassis
He's like,
that
mm.
that I need them to define structural, and I'm not gonna tell them that. I'm just sitting there like, well, what do you mean by structural? Like, how is that
Yeah.
structural?
What is
'Cause
define structural?
and I've told Ito what I've wanted to do, and he was like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "I can't do that yet." And I haven't, they don't know why I can't do it yet, but I can't do it yet. The gray area isn't gray enough. Uh, but so he's looking over and he's like, "Well, this bracket's missing that bolts in." And I'm like, "Well, how is that structural?" And he's like, "Well, we're not engineers. How do you expect us to know?" And I'm like, "Well, I can tell you it's not structural. It holds an airbag. Like it's an
it,
airbag
it
bracket."
literally is an airbag bracket that bolts in. Okay. It wasn't
So
welded in, it bolts in.
so they tried getting him on that. And long story short, it didn't go through on the protest. They
Yeah.
told him basically it needs to be fixed by the next event. So he did, in fact, bolt the brackets back in. It needs to be fixed for the next event, but you're good to go. Nothing else. I mean, Ito was crawling in the back of the car. He was, Jeremy has like tape over like the holes for like where like your wheel speed sensor would go through the back
Yeah.
seat or something. You know what I mean? Like wiring harness where it would have a grommet. Now it's just a hole. He has like a piece of tape over it. So he's like poking holes in tape and like asking Bailey all sorts of questions, hundreds of pictures in this car. And so Bailey's like, "Am I good? Do I need to go back out? Do I need to fix something before I go back out and run this time again?" Like, I mean, our hands are up in the air on what they're doing, and like minutes before the second session. They're like, "You're good." Like, I mean, I felt like he was didn't figure out he was good until after the second session. But during that second session, Granberg goes out and just starts chopping
Yep.
chopping the time down. It was like 34.8, 34.6, cool down lap, 34.4. I'm like, oh my God,
Here
dude.
he
He did
comes.
not go slower. Every single lap he went by that was intentional
Yes.
was a chop. And he got down 34.3. I'm like, dude, he might get it. 34.2. I was like, oh my God, dude, he's figuring it out. Last lap, 34.112, I think it was. And I was like, oh my God, he's a 10th off Bailey. And so now Bailey's like, I have to go out the third session. I have to lay down a lap. I have to make sure these guys
That
don't
third
beat me.
session was intense.
But Bailey's the front runner for Club TR, and he's in front of these two other guys, him
Yes.
and
Evan McLaren.
he's he's right in front of Granberg in grid order.
Yep.
And so they're going, and Peter doesn't find time. Bailey doesn't find time. They get held up, but on the straight, Dewey and I could hear Dewey over the intercom announcing for the live stream, and I guess Peter was trying to catch a draft off of Bailey.
It's exactly what he was doing. And Bailey knew it. So Bailey's like, fuck this, and dove out of the way and let him go by. And then like there was absolutely at that point no way he was gonna probably get that. So like Bailey dives off. That's one of the nice things about having somebody who really knows that person. Like I could see by how he was driving that like I knew exactly what he was doing. So I'm calling Bailey's bullshit literally live. But during that session, Evan McLaren in the Integra was following Pete and tied Pete. And I'm not talking like what they run a 34-1, okay? So he didn't just run a 34-1, he ran a 34, I think it was a 1-2-2. So
Yeah.
he tied 3 decimal points down exact, and they don't have timing that goes below that. So they tied. So all the whole podium of Club TR was in 1/10 of a second. That's how close they were. They were in 1/10, and the top two, the 2 and 3 literally tied. So they gave them both second. Personally, this is nothing against Evan, and I think they should clarify this for the future. It should go the person who ran the time first should get the position, because I have a feeling since they both got second, this is going to play hell later on when we're talking about points.
Yeah. I mean, so technically they tied for second, so they both get the points.
Yep.
And what I think though is gonna switch it up is McLaren's in a front wheel drive car. But I guess with the new season this year, you have to have the overall record
Yep.
for the extra point, so it wouldn't really matter. But what I was gonna go at is, oh well, he gets an extra point for front wheel drive, but they changed that rule this year, so you have to have the overall record to get that extra point.
Yep.
So I guess that wouldn't change anything, but still, I mean, tied for second in a race, best of 4, points come in handy, and we have 4 more races of the season, so I mean that could also come down to Laguna, and like right now with diesel prices, like I'm not trying to look at anybody going, you have to go to Laguna to win, but
We're trying really hard to not have to go to Laguna. Okay.
Yeah.
Whether we go or not, that is still way up in the air, but we don't want to have to go. Okay. Like the goal here is get this wrapped up as early as possible so we can make financial choices. Maybe I go out to Laguna and guest drive somebody else's car. There's a lot of other things on the table. Okay. We have the ticket, like it's not, but the current political climate and wars and stuff, it out of nowhere, gas prices got a ton more expensive, and we have a budget we got to adhere to. So I don't know if Laguna's even on the table, but like we really want to make sure we don't have to go. So
but the Club TR guys,
they're gonna have to go.
I mean, every year they're battling it out for who's gonna do what. And I have a feeling that this Club TR championship is going to be one to watch. and it's always close. I mean, I think 2024 they were within a tenth of, or it wasn't even a tenth. I think it was a hundredth of a
It
second.
was
Who did one?
three thousandths, I think, is
That's what
what
it was.
separated them of first
The
and second place. The
championship,
whole season came down to 0.003 of a second.
and they did the math and figured it out. The whole championship came down to an inch over the finish line, an
Yes.
inch.
How
And
crazy is that?
so,
And that's what we're talking about here. So Bailey's going. Like, maybe I go and help Bailey. Maybe I'm just there to help
yeah.
him, with data and shit. I don't know. But
So either way, I mean, Bailey brings home the win. We bring home the win.
hyped.
We get to watch some FD Saturday night, which I'm still, when I met Dewey, I was like, oh, Formula Drift's super cool, and now I'm corrupted because they introduced this new system called Wally, which is like this AI tracker or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. Don't get me wrong, but there was already some battles that I watched that they're like, oh, this person wins, and I'm like, how'd they go? They what? They went off. Like, how'd they win? And so it's just, I don't know. A time is a time.
Yep.
So I'm corrupted. I like full track racing now, wheel to wheel, time attack.
Broke you,
I
man.
still love. There's a special place in my heart for Formula Drift, but it just isn't as big as it used to be. And but it was cool. Atlanta Formula Drift's always a throwdown. I get to run into some people I don't get to see often. Get to go run over, say hi to Mike Kojima, and some friends I haven't seen in a while. And I mean, it went just as fast as it came up from CMP. It went by just as fast.
I'm hyped that we got to hang out with the Garrett guys a little bit, and
Yep.
I can't say too much, but might have something spicy coming down the pipe. We'll see what happens, but things are getting cooked up. We're pretty excited about that, and yeah, dude. Yeah. So some other notable things this weekend. One, Dai Yoshihara driving for
hmm
Subi Mods, so he's basically a teammate now. That was sick. I mean, talk about being able to just chat it up with a legend. Honestly, one of the nicest dudes. Super personable. They're still trying to figure stuff out, but like
I still
also
got to warm up.
Nick
I still gotta warm up my welcome to like talk to him.
yeah,
I'm like I've been following Dai for years on the Formula Drift side of things. I'm like, oh my god,
sure.
I
I
can't.
mean,
He's just,
I mean, even on Time Attack, he's a big deal. Like he
he-
drove. Yeah, I get it. Like that's Hall of Famer, Formula D Hall of Famer Dai Yoshihara. I get it. But like
yeah. So
Dai's super easy to talk to and super cool and really like I think he can take their program really far. They got a development to do on that car and they're sorting some stuff out and I'm excited to see what they do, but it's Dai's great. Dai's super cool. Nick, unfortunately, Nick learned a hard lesson this weekend. You should probably watch some video before you show up at a big boy track. He's
I'm gonna call him out too,
yeah.
because I was in his DMs being like, "Yo, you need to hit iRacing with us on the sim on Atlanta because we did it like 3 weeks back to back." I'm not even a driver, and I'm in there with these guys trying to learn it, and I know that Atlanta's no joke. And so I was in his DMs. I'm like, "Yo, just come out. It's just come learn the track with us. You're gonna learn some tricks of the trade." And I mean, he was probably busy and
He is an extraordinarily busy guy, and this is one piece of what he's trying to do. And I don't think he expected to even he was not expecting to even make podium sprint at CMP, and he ended up podiuming. But his 100% podium streak is down to 50%. But I think the track will favor both of those cars better at Midwest Fest. So
Yep.
another cool thing that happened is street complete sweep with Subarus. That was pretty sick. Top 3 positions were Subarus. There's a lot of drama going on with if you listen to the other podcasts I'm on, Heat Exchanger, there's a lot of talk about what's going on with the rules and stuff for that. But top 3 were Subarus, and how great could that be? Love it. Okay. And another thing, not trying to completely prop sponsors up, but sponsors had a really good weekend. Okay. EBC, the top two in street mod were running EBC SR21s, and the entire podium of Club TR, EBC SR21s. And people all up in my DMs, yeah, SR21s ain't it. Yeah, well, you can tell it to all 5 of us, okay? We're the ones with trophies. Who are you? So I'm just saying, where's your track records?
Bring it, nerds.
Bring it, nerds. But yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about this, but I definitely want to talk about it. Subi Mods and Nick, help me get set up with Sabelt. And I got a new suit. And there are lots of pictures of it out there now. But holy shit, is this suit nice. It's got Boogie on the front. It's got Dewey on the back with number 70. We got the sponsors all over it. It looks like the car, and it looks like the new livery that's coming. And it looks so good.
I was gonna wear it, and because I knew I was
you
gonna use
should
my
have.
laptop and video. I was gonna put it on and be like, "King of the castle, king of the castle." But I didn't have time. So the suit is amazing looking, and again, huge shout out to Nick and Subi Mods and Sabelt because the thing is gorgeous, and it's a little bit more breathable. It looks like
It's
like
lighter.
you're not as hot.
It's more breathable, and it fits because dude, I'm shaped like a salamander. Nothing fits me. Okay, and like this thing's custom for me. I don't own a piece of clothing that fits me this well. I've never owned a piece of clothing that fits me this well. That includes the tailored shit that I had when I was in the Marine Corps. None of that fit this good either. Nope, this fits me mint. It was impossible to get me out of it. It was impossible to get me out of it. I loved it. It's so good. It's so good. And we got gloves and boots coming.
Yeah, he took his pants off in the pits to put it on, by the way. I have video of that.
Yeah, we got to post that.
So yeah, that being said, I mean, now we're kind of focusing. We got a little bit of time to get ready for Midwest Fest, and we have a lot of big stuff going for Midwest Fest. Where, someone had mentioned in the chat about the new Subimod videos. Well, if you've watched them and you've liked what you watch, we're going to be episode 3 in our journey to Midwest Fest, and hopefully our journey to break the sub 130 barrier. So I've already been playing with the little things of the car to try to make it ready for that. And Dewey's also, I mean, Gingerman's home of Gridlife, so
I want that record so bad. Like, I know Time Attack is all about the records, but we really have to think about championship. But I gotta be real. I am laser focused on this damn record. Okay. I've said it a million times. I desperately want to be the first person to pilot a street mod car to a sub 130 at Gingerman. I know it seems like this convoluted record thing, but it has been a thing going for so long. And so many people have gotten so close. It needs to get done.
That being said, I already said no messing with buttons this year, and I'm watching the time because I got an appointment here in a bit. But something that I had a breakthrough with today was this darn steering wheel that we've been playing with. Zestech hooked us up a while ago, and the CAN bus situation we have going on in his car is kind of weird. We got different modules talking to different modules, and stuff's going through the dash that then talks to an Mtron. And long story short, we had to make some changes and some programming, and wouldn't you know it, we figured it out. It works. I was able to make some inputs today with the help of Sam. Over at Dialed In, he kind of just reminded me how things work in the software, and I got one button mapped out so far, but I'm pretty confident in other buttons getting mapped out. So the steering wheel does work. I'm super excited about it. I know Dewey's going to be over the moon about it.
Being able to not have to reach down because I am going to have to set the lap timer, but we also got the practice day this year, so I can do it the day before. But reach down, I don't have to do that. I can do it right on there. And then we're also setting up the shift lights on it, not so much to tell me like revs, but to tell me when I'm allowed to downshift. which is something I've been a little naughty on, and we don't want to over rev the engine and break shit. So this is going to be right in my face, bright lights that even my Neanderthal brain can handle. So really
Yep.
hyped about that, dude. So hyped about that. Um,
I'm actually really hyped about it. I did it like 3 or 4 times to make sure it was, like, permanent in the software that the button did something,
yes.
and then I ran around the office. I was like, "Yo, you gotta come check this out." I grabbed Anthony and Foster. I'm like, "Yo,
Watch
check
this.
this
I can
out."
take a 0 and make it a 1.
Yeah, basically, and
Flash.
so I'm super hyped about it. Sam's gonna give me some help, another time with it. You know, we've talked about, what we wanna do with the paddles. I almost don't wanna I don't know if the logic's gonna work entirely, but I'm fairly certain it's gonna work, but we
Mhm.
have some special stuff we wanna do with some things. Again, we can't shift with the paddles, but we can use them for other things. So I'm super excited about that. We're gonna try to square away some of the, basic maintenance with the car, give it a gingerman alignment, and just the car was in really good shape because we didn't beat the hell out of it at Atlanta, and so that's kind of giving me time to focus on some of this other low hanging fruit that we've been wanting to do. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm looking forward to Midwest Fest. It's still a good bit of ways, but it's going to be there right around the corner, and we have a lot of work to do to get below that sub 130 barrier.
Yep. I'm going to be working on a lot of stuff myself. I've got data to go over. But one thing that did happen, I thought it was super cool, is a longtime friend and very close follower uh, of the Boogie program and just stuff. And he's been a customer of mine for a million years, and he's close enough to where I can definitely consider him a friend. Uh, Basically bought time with Scott Robertson, who is a driver coach, and basically said, "Hey, I got you Scott Robertson for the weekend." So I have another set of eyes to go over data and help me as a driver to get this done. And like, I know some people might look at that like almost there's like an ego problem with it. I am hyped as hell. Being able to have somebody else who's got a million laps around Gingerman because he kind of lives near there, and he's not only an expert at Gingerman, but that's what he does. He is a driver coach, and he's actually helped me with some stuff he's mentioned before. He's given me some breathing exercises I literally use every day. But having him be able to go over some data and just help me from my perspective so he can tune me, and that gets me off of Dylan's plate so Dylan can worry about the car going faster. Graham and Dylan can get this thing together, and we can just go knock this thing out of the park because I
Not
just
only
desperately want to get this record.
not only that, but we're also gonna have Miles and the guys from RCE
Yes.
there. So between you dealing with Scott and the car being where it is, working and focusing on what you got to do on your end, I'm gonna have myself and a handful of guys. Shout out to Dalton and Jordan and all these guys that are helping. Forklift deserves a shout out
Hell
for
yeah.
Atlanta as well. But we've developed a small like team here, but I'm gonna have some real professional grade guys in the pits with me this weekend as far as getting the suspension sorted, and I'm pretty excited because every time I hang out with these dudes, I learn something. So I I I think we're gonna do fairly well here. I'm just gonna knock on wood, but it's we got to kind of take it one race at a time, and anything can happen. It has happened, but we keep rolling with the punches and keep doing what we have to do and keep focusing on winning. I think we can make it a long way, and I'm excited to see everybody at the track again.
I want everybody to come out to Midwest Fest, and if you can't make it, you better be in the chat freaking hitting that pirate flag emoji. And if you're not, don't even come back to this chat. Don't even do it. Don't even do it. um, Dylan, thank you for coming in here. I know you got to get going. I got a few questions in the chat that are lingering, but like I can take care of these. But I know you gotta cut out. So you got an appointment tonight. I think you're getting a massage.
I
Um,
am. Luckily, I have an amazing girlfriend. She books me a massage for after every race. I totally forgot about
welcome.
this one. She texted me yesterday and was like, "Hey, don't forget tomorrow at 7." And I'm like, "Dude, Thank God. So yeah, I got to get out of here. Thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for everybody keeping up with our story and the podcast and everything else. And I look forward to uh, keep going and doing what we're doing, man. We just keep crawling, and
It
it
just
just
keeps
keeps
working.
working. So thanks again, everybody. I'm gonna get out of here, get out of your hair, and bombard Dewey with questions as you would.
Later, buddy. All right. Oh, man, dude, Road Atlanta was crazy. Got a few questions in the chat. Definitely want to answer them. A real fast one I can answer real quick. We'll try to keep it on topic, and then I'm gonna answer something that Aaron asked earlier regarding some crank issues that we've seen. But first question is, what intercom system do you guys use? I've been just been using radios with headphones. Well, we tried to use the radios with headphones, and unfortunately they don't go far enough for what we need, and or they just kind of were like cheesy. There are some really nice race radio things out there, but like a good kit costs like $1,500, and I gotta be real, I don't have that kind of money to go throwing at this right now. It might be something we look into at some point, but I don't have it. So we have a system, and I've told people about this system before, but basically we save it for podium sprint or a session that like it's coming down to the wire. Like last year, Mid Ohio was not a podium sprint setup. It was normal time attack, but the session that mattered, we were using the system. Long story short, how this works is we have this bright neon green poster board. Okay. And Dylan puts himself, or we put somebody in a position to where it's close, or it's far enough back from the start finish line to where if I needed to start a hot lap, I could. So like in Gingerman, it would at least be coming into 11. Okay. At Road America, I actually stuck them all the way back to Canada Corner. Long story short, how this works though is if I have to run another lap outside of my first lap, or I need to go, they put this bright green poster board up. If I don't, they don't. Okay. So usually if we need to lay a screamer lap down, I'll run a hot lap. And if I felt like it was a decent lap, I'll run a cool down. And then on that cool down, I will look for the poster board. If the poster board is not there, we're good. Okay, because I can't see what they're running as far as times, and then I come in. That's how it works. It was raining so hard last year at pit race that I couldn't, that didn't work. I couldn't see anything. So plus I was seeing red. So that's what we use as far as a system to talk to our to talk to the car, pits to the car currently. Hopefully something we can do in the future. We got some ideas. There's actually talk of maybe some units that you can put something on the dash. So you can talk to the dash from the pits, and it would use like cell service to do it. We would like to maybe do something along those lines, but that's down the road. I would love somebody to develop something easy for that if all it did was send a basic text thing, or something basic, and it put a message on the dashboard and you could hit it through cell. That would be sick. Sam, I'm just saying, like I'm literally handing you a product here. Okay. Sarah Pinwolf also asked if I got to watch both episodes of the Subi Mods videos. Yes, I did. And I think both of them are really good. They did get some video of Boogie in there. And like I also have mentioned, where if you like what those are, we're going to be number 3. Like they're going to follow us on the sub 130 journey. So, Sangard, a pager, you ain't wrong. Sangard, it's also nice to see you, buddy. Honestly, I hope we have some reason, or maybe things work out to where we do have to go to the West Coast and go to Laguna, because I'd like to compete against you more heads up than we did last time, and I think it'd be fun. And I'd like to get all the Subarus together, and I'm not gonna lie, if I'm coming out there a month early, I'm gonna start talking shit to the entire west side of the country. Just fair warning, it's coming. Anybody who's listening to this, get ready. If we are going to Laguna, get ready for the most freaking vile shit talking that's ever came out of my mouth. But yeah, that's exactly how we do that. So yes, that is a very technical and advanced method with our poster board. It's not much different than the 7,000 plus goes like hell. Um, Sam, we call that digital dash, but how would Dylan like text it or something? That's what we're trying to get at. So, um, the other thing that was brought up, Aaron brought this up way early in the chat, and this is something that's been in a lot of people's minds lately, and it's rightfully kind of terrifying some people, and we're not all 100% sure what's going on, but there has been what seemed to be a rash of 2.5 liter cranks snapping behind the first main journal, and these are newer cranks and newer engines, and these are the nitrided cranks. Okay. Now, with that stated, is that a Subaru thing? Is there a run of these cranks that are taking a shit? Maybe. I don't know much about how these cars are built. Okay. What I can say is we haven't seen much of that on the IAG side, but we also like we're really big on if you're running a OEM 2.5 liter crank, we really try to limit you below 8,000 RPM, really try to tell you, even 7,500. If you're going past there, the rod ratio ain't great. And if you are planning on doing that with a 2.5 liter crank, you probably should go with a billet crank. Okay. If you plan on spinning past that in, say, like one of our 950s, we tend to recommend go with one of our D-strokers. That's a 2-liter crank. The angle on the crankshaft is a bit more favorable. It's just a much happier engine at higher RPM. Now, I'm not trying to make this as a sales thing. I don't know what the situation is with that, and we're not seeing it. So maybe, a particular engine builder or whatever got a crummy run of cranks. And I got to be real, we all know that Subaru has in the past had some less than favorable quality control on certain things. Okay. So there might be something to this. I'm in the let's wait and see phase right now, because I definitely have seen stock cranks fail, but usually the bearing fails first, and we're pushing limits these days like we've never pushed before. Okay. We've absolutely never pushed them in the same way. And it's due to tuning and due to better fueling, and all of the decent tuners in the country have gotten better and better at building these cars. They push stuff more and more. We have better head gaskets and head studs and all the stuff better than we ever have. We tend to be able to push these things in ways we couldn't 10, 15 years ago. We're finding limits of stuff we didn't really think had limits. That could be some of this. Now, the other side of this is maybe there's a bad run of stuff. Okay. I would need more info, but currently we're not seeing anything. Now, if we do start seeing stuff, I'll let you know. Okay. I will be more than happy to let you know. But those guidelines of an OEM 2.5 liter crank over 8,000 RPM, in my opinion, you're asking for it. Okay. I know there's going to be a million people in the comments, and they're going to, all right. That's fine. I'm happy that worked out for you. Okay. But I cannot recommend it in my right mind. That is to include a 2.1 stroker, which is the same problem, just a smaller piston. Okay. So, I hope that maybe cleared a little bit up for you. So there's a lot that could cause that. It's terrifying. Aaron says we're only making 450 horsepower on a 950 block. Coma logs on the Link ECU. There were 0 issues. Engine started chunking, alternators still ran, oil pressure So I have a 950 block in my track car, making 500 wheel. So basically 650 on a dyno jet. I mean, not quite, but okay. Um, yeah, let us know how it goes. But again, I don't see that being. I'm not that worried about it. I'm not in you can make again our cranks are not crap. They're not cast, they're forged. They're a good crank. Um there's been arguments by some that maybe the nitrided cranks aren't quite as strong as the old non-nitrided cranks, but we've seen people make over 1,000 wheel on those cranks. And maybe it's a quality control thing that's starting to come through. We're not sure, but what I can tell you is if you are going to be pushing that thing, or it's going to be a total track slut, you are going to be beating the hell out of it, or you're going to be ripping it up Pikes Peak. I'm not saying a 950 isn't a strong block, but the 1150 with that billet crank starts making a lot more sense. If you're going to be hanging out at over, especially if you're going past 8,000 RPM, but if you're going to be living over 6,000 RPM, it might be worth the billet crank alone just there. Just saying. Boogie runs around at just over 600. Like 610 wheel. That's all we were running this weekend. Okay, we weren't running a whole lot. We spin the shit out of it, but we're on a billet crank. And the reason we're on a billet crank is because we pulled the engine apart at the end of the season a couple years ago. And the crank, while it was still together, we didn't lose the crank. It was a little out of balance to the point where we're like, this probably should be running a billet crank. And that's why we switched. So, Aaron, 7,500 RPM rev limit, stock cam still. Exactly. I'm not worried about your setup, dude. And honestly, for what you're going to be doing, that extra displacement probably makes a ton of sense. I don't think a destroker makes sense for you. You're going to need everything you can to go. Every little bit of displacement is going to be a massive thing for you trying to go up that mountain. So the torque and everything, it's probably worth it. 7,500 RPM rev limit, not worried about it, especially since you're on a 950, little longer rod, little better rod ratio. I think you're in a good spot. Zach at ZF has been checking crank balance and OEM is not great. We balance all of our cranks. We check all of them. Okay. So every single one of our engines, it's checked. Okay. That's even our 550s, it's checked. Now, I'm not saying we go completely nuts in balancing every single crank we put together. If it's within spec for a 550, we run it, but we check them all. Okay. Everything is checked. We tend to take our 950 and 1150 a lot more serious, but we never just take it for granted ever. You can't, not with it. Honestly, Subaru's quality control just isn't there. So, Sam, you asked for over 9,000. That's right. Brad from PDRE, only thing we've seen is people tightening the fuck out of the alternator and shit pulling and that can happen too. And you'll destroy your front main really bad. And there is too tight is a thing. Okay. I know it's a rubber belt, but that much pressure for that long, it'll just destroy stuff. So, Aaron, I have the Kelfords on the shelf. We'll probably go back to a destroker before I throw those in. Our car that broke the crank was only 7,200 RPM. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. That's wild. Again, I would love to see one of these broken cranks and maybe, have somebody, one of our guys or, send it to, somebody do some serious metallurgy, and look into what maybe they thought caused that, because that's wild. Should we expect a rule change 3 days before Gingerman? They need to get that rule changed for all of the Subaru's sake. They need to get it changed within the next week minimum. Okay. Cause it's going to take at least 2 weeks for people to find turbos and do whatever they got to do. I gotta be real. They shouldn't change the rules. They need to just clarify what they're trying to do. And they're doing a shit job of it. I've said it before. The street is so hard to figure out. because the rules were written really strange. And hopefully they fix it. So Aaron shot me an Instagram. I don't know what I'm looking at here. What am I looking at? Oh, yeah, I can check that out in a minute, but I can't listen to this yet. So I will check that out in a minute. I don't think it's a video from Prime Motoring though. Yeah. So honestly, that's kind of where I'm at. If you guys got any other questions, hit me real quick, but I want to get on with my night. I got some sim racing I got to do. I got to get ready for Gingerman. So I can't thank the people who listen to this podcast enough, and those that are in the chats and liking our videos and sharing. I've been saying this forever. Please share this, like it, Spotify, do whatever you got to do. Like it up on YouTube, do whatever you can. And we appreciate that. And also, like, when you guys share boogie videos and stuff like that, it goes a long way to making my life easier of saying, look, the community wants this. And the community does want this. They're just real bad at like showing it in some ways, okay? The people who follow this, there might not be a ton of us, but the ones that are doing really hardcore performance Subaru stuff, they're hardcore about it, okay? So it matters, but it would really help if you guys are liking that or leaving a comment. Share it. Share it. Share it in a group that I'm not in. Share our lap videos. Share that. But not only our stuff, but like Josh Helka, I mean, runs a couple of our parts, but I think he's running Turning Concepts engine or whatever. He's a Turning Concepts guy. Share his shit too. When people do cool shit with Subarus, share it. We need to, as a community, celebrate people doing cool shit as a community. Whether it's us, other people, it doesn't have to just be IAG. It needs to be us as Subarus. Our community is too small to be separated, okay? Do it together. Share other people's shit. Like other people's shit. It is Subarus to the top. That you know, don't get me wrong. I want IAG to be at the top and, you know, my sponsors or whatever, but it needs to be us as a collective going to the top, okay? And I will share any data I can, anything I can do to help, and almost everybody in the Subaru track community, at least, is more than happy to help, and most of the drag guys are super cool. Even the street build people are super cool. Like, we need to celebrate each other, and the more we do that, the more exciting this community looks again. And that's how we start bringing people back in the way, you know, people want to keep talking about the way it used to be. What have you done to improve the community? What have you done to improve the community? Stop waiting for the community to improve. You need to improve the community. What have you done today to improve the community? To influence some 20-year-old kid who was about to go buy something stupid and do some stupid shit with it. Let's get him into a Subaru. So, all right. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And I can't stress it enough to you guys. I love you to pieces. It literally means the world. Your support is the reason we get to do this. And I get to look like a superhero running around Road Atlanta. So, when this does come out, share it, like it, subscribe, do the whole thing. We appreciate the hell out of it. And we will see you next time.